So here I am in York after taking myself away for about 5 days, and on my first day I've come up to just take a little bit of fresh air, and I come up to the end of the road and there's this area here with all these Christmas trees in it, all sorts of different shapes and sizes, and I was just drawn to this one here because it's got areas on it where it's got lots of new growth on it, and these bright green bits are really so. Here's a look. It's really soft and really supple, unlike the spiky bits that's the Christmas tree. And I was just likening myself to this tree a little bit, really, whereas it just sort of sits here and does its thing, and it's obviously just had a time of rest, and then it's just starting to sprout new growth. And I just thought to myself, this is one of the reasons why I brought myself out here to York for a few days, is just really to sit with myself. Hopefully I'm not going to be shut on like this one has been. But here we are, some really, but to encourage new growth. And it just got me thinking as I touched this bit here, how supple it is, and actually how gentle we need to be with ourselves when we are new, when we are, when we allow ourselves to nurture being still and present, but also how supple we are and how fragile, the fragility of who we are as we're birthing new parts of us, if you like. And I just wonder if it's that time of year, whether you feel it too. I'm certainly feeling that there is new growth in me. And just using the analogy of that Christmas tree, is that, as we do birth look after ourselves and nurture ourselves, and new growth occurs, how gentle we have to be with ourselves in the beginning. Because I don't know about you, but I can sometimes be really hard on myself. And if I have something new that's birthing through me, or I'm trying something new, or there's a new idea I'm working with, or new conversations I'm having, if things don't quite go to plan, I can sometimes be really hard on myself. And I just thought, just seeing that new growth on those trees, it looks really pretty. It's very bright. It definitely adds a different dimension to the tree, doesn't it? And loads here with new growth on. It's really wonderful to see, but because it's so supple, you have to be so gentle with it. And it just made me think, actually, perhaps I just need to be even more kinder to myself. And what ways could we do that? I mean, it's definitely classics, ways of nurturing and nourishing and conditioning our bodies. But emotionally, spiritually and mentally, how can we be kinder to ourselves? The obvious is to rest and sleep when you're tired, and exercise your body and eat well. But spiritually and emotionally and mentally, and emotional being my game, if you like, one of the kindest ways you can look after yourself emotionally is to actually recognise what you're feeling when you're feeling it, and that to appreciate that all feelings are good. All feelings are energy. Emotions are energy in motion, and feelings is the physical sensation we feel in our visceral body. The sensations and perceptions of ourselves and the world around us. And it just is worth paying extra consideration to, isn't it? How can I be kinder to myself on an emotional level, recognising what I feel, and that there are no bad emotions, just emotions that perhaps feel bad. but it's still equally important to feel those. And I think one of the things that has become very apparent to me over the years, but also in my work, is that we strive for perfectionism in the fact that we really struggle with anxiety and moving on and healing, accepting ourselves, is because we don't think that accepting our whole selves and everything we feel is a good thing. Because if I'm accepting the fact that I feel a bit crappy at times, or I've got things that going on in me that aren't good, or I think aren't good, then if I acknowledge that, then I think that I am bad, and that's not the case. And I spent so much of my life, I wonder if this is true for you, I'm taking a walk in these trees, and some of them are really lovely. I really struggled to accept my flaws and accept that there were parts about me that I would really rather admit didn't exist. And in my findings and my experience, it just makes things worse. And when I don't want to admit there is something in me I don't like, one of the very first questions I ask myself is, what's the most loving thing I can do for myself right now? And invariably it will be something really nurturing, really nurturing and kind and gentle, almost like I'm experiencing myself and my newness maybe for the first time, or at least that part of me for the first time, a little bit like the new parts coming through on that tree, just having to be a little bit more gentle with myself and give myself time. And that's one of the questions that I ask myself a lot. What's the most loving thing I could do for myself right now when I find myself in a low vibe place, or I'm perhaps struggling with something? And if you struggle with the word love, what's the kindest, most gentlest thing I can do for myself right now? Give it a go. So just now, before I came out for my walk, I've had a really beautiful day. I've probably done a couple of meditations, 3 meditations actually I've done today. 3 meditations. I've had a really beautiful homemade lunch. I've got all my food with me. I sat out and read in the sunshine this morning for about 2 hours. I've done some writing and some journaling, and I'm really just gifting myself this time. And then it got to about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I started to, as my lunch was digesting, it's a late lunch, I thought, gosh, starting to feel an energy dip. What's the most loving thing I could do for myself right now? And I thought, well, maybe I'll just go and sit and do my reading. And my body just said, go out for a walk, go out for a walk, go out for a walk, take me out for a walk. So I've got a clue where I'm going. But hopefully if I head back down there, and I was just talking to that horse as well. If you can see him. Oh, where is he? Oh, anyway, there's a horse down here somewhere. I was chatting to him for a while. And he seemed to come over and chat back to me, which was lovely. Anyway, I'm going to go back in now, but I think the point being is, be gentle with yourself. It's that time of year, isn't it? Spring, new birth. And if you are feeling that this is the time to really take another look at yourself, or a good look at yourself, and see what you can discover, be gentle with yourself as to what you might find. And take time out to have a good look and be really present. Oh, isn't that lovely, that sunshine? Be really present with yourself, because I can guarantee you what you will find will be stunning. You might be frightened of it, but please don't be. Sit with it with the intention of being loving, gentle, considerate and kind with what you might find. God bless. I'll catch you soon. Bye bye bye.